Are we live? Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey?
Here.
Mr. Bateman?
Here.
Mr. Goodyear?
Here.
Mr. Hart?
Here.
Mr. Corey?
Here.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Here.
Mr. Ping?
Here.
Welcome, everyone. Before I introduce our staff, I do want to just mention, it's nice that a lot of our Valentine ladies are here, but we did lose one of our beloved Valentine ladies in the last week or so, Kay Napier, who I believe was the 2008 Valentine lady. Is that right, ladies? So we keep her family and friends and our Valentine ladies in our thoughts and prayers. So welcome. With us we have tonight our Director of Finance, Mark Medler, our Assistant City Manager, Chris Weinich, Clerk of Council, Misty Clark, City Manager, Dave Kennedy, City Solicitor, Joe Braun, our Fire Chief, Ott Huber, Police Chief, Michael Gabrielson, former council members, Pat Mays, Kent Blair, and Todd Osborne, and several esteemed members of our fire department who we are about to hear from, I do believe. But first, we have the Loveland Shorts Film Festival. So, and I have a proclamation. You want me to read it from here or join you up there? What would you like? Okay. Good answer. Anybody else up here with you? All right, you want to speak first, or you want me to proclaim first?
Proclaim.
All right, we'll proclaim. Whereas the city of Loveland, Ohio, proudly known as the sweetheart of Ohio, and consistently rated among the state's top small towns, is a vibrant community dedicated to fostering arts and culture. And whereas the Loveland Shorts Film Festival is in its second consecutive year of providing a creative and welcoming environment for independent filmmakers to showcase their work and engage with the local community. And whereas the Loveland Shorts Film Festival has swiftly become a cherished annual event dedicated to showcasing the remarkable talent of independent filmmakers and enriching the cultural tapestry of our beloved city. And whereas this highly anticipated weekend will feature a curated collection of exceptional short films, workshops, opportunities for networking, and celebratory events, enriching the cultural landscape of our beloved city. And whereas this event attracts filmmakers and producers from across the continental United States, as well as multiple countries across the globe. And whereas the Loveland Shorts Film Festival, with the full support of its mayor, city council, local businesses, and the entire community, contributes significantly to our reputation as an arts-focused destination. And whereas the Loveland Shorts Film Festival encourages independent filmmakers to celebrate their creative artistry through the genres of comedy, animation, documentary, drama, romance, and science fiction. Now, therefore, I, Kathy Bailey, by the power vested in me as the mayor of the city of Loveland, and on behalf of city council and residents, do hereby proclaim August 1st through August 3rd as Loveland Shorts Film Festival Weekend in the city of Loveland, and encourage residents and visitors alike to join in celebrating the boundless imagination of storytellers worldwide, to support independent filmmaking, and to partake in the unique cultural experience that this festival brings to our community. There we go. That was all for him, right? So I will turn it over to Gary, but I think it's amazing how many of everybody that's involved in your film festival is here tonight. I think it's a reminder to get your tickets, because if they all buy tickets, we're not going to have many left. But I know we went to as much as we could last year, and it was really fun and amazing. And so we're really lucky that we have individuals in our community like Gary and all of you that bring something unique to our city that we wouldn't have without all your hard work and your creative ideas. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Mayor.
Am I sitting now, or am I standing?
I guess he wins. Well, Mayor, City Council, and others, thank you so much for it. So it is an honor, and I am truly humbled the city would honor us like that. But if I could take a moment and just have the film festival team stand. So these are the people that really make it happen. I mean, I'm just up here spewing words. These are the people that are dedicated, have the passion to really get out there and pull this whole thing together. And it is a lot of work. We worked on the first film festival 18 months. On this one, we started in September, which was 1 month after the last festival. But so thank you. So if I could take a couple minutes to just talk about the festival. This year we had the festival is August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. First and second are the screenings, workshops, and social gatherings. Sunday is the award ceremony. So this year we had 125 films submitted from across the globe. We had 14 international films, and then the rest of them across the United States, with a lot right here in our local area. We have 3 films from Loveland that will be in the show, and they're really good. So we will be showing 43 films this year over Friday and Saturday in 6 unique screening blocks. And we're doing 3 workshops, and our workshops are really cool. One is combat in cinema. The other one is the art of intimacy in film. And the other one is lighting in film. And all 3 are professionals in each of those disciplines. Thank you. Yeah, so tickets are available at lovelandfilmfest.org, and buy tickets. So and I do want to say something about the film. So we start off Friday morning, and you could go to any of the blocks, any of the days, and just see some outstanding films. Friday, we start with some really powerful films. And it doesn't stop from there. It's a roller coaster ride of emotion. They are, I didn't think I'd ever be at a loss for words. But, they take you anywhere from laughing to crying and reflection. I mean, I'm sure that after you see the film, you're going to go away and have a discussion about what was that film about, and everybody will have a different opinion. So they're just really good. Highly encourage you to come. So one thing we did do, we had to overcome when we first started thinking about the film festival. How do we get recognized? There are 10,000 film festivals in the globally competing for the films from the filmmakers. So how could we be recognized to have the filmmakers select us? So we put together a promo video, 90 seconds, that really highlights the city of Loveland, how cool it is, so the filmmaker would say, hey, that's the place I'm going to go. And the other part is talking about the film festival and how we want to promote the filmmakers and make them be the VIPs. So if we could show the video.
Loveland, the sweetheart, Ohio, rated one of the 10 best small towns in the entire state. An arts-focused community that is home to art galleries, art festivals, art crawls, live theater, music venues, and a historic medieval castle. Southwest Ohio's most vibrant community with boutique shopping, restaurants for all tastes, miles of biking trails, canoeing, and a vibrant nightlife. And now, the Loveland Shorts Film Festival.
Welcome, filmmakers, to the Loveland Shorts Film Festival. We are honored to host you and your film in our amazing city. We hope you enjoy your stay here. We hope you get to see some of the wonderful things that this city has to offer. We look forward to meeting you, and we very much look forward to having you share your wonderful talents with us.
The Loveland Shorts Film Festival is dedicated to showing top quality short films of 20 minutes or less. While our focus is showing thought-provoking films and films that our audiences will love, we plan to have a festival that is driven to cater to the true festival's VIPs, the filmmakers.
Well, anyway, again, Mayor, City Council, thank you so much for this honor, and thank you all for coming and buy tickets.
Hey, Gary, let's get a picture with you and your crew with council, because then we can put it on our social media and try to promote it.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
have a board meeting at I think it starts at 7.
How convenient. A lot of people involved with that. Cool thing.
All right, next we have Bruce Hawk, LSFD Executive Officer. Chief knows that those ladies out there need to have the door closed.
Perfect. Good evening, Mayor and Council and residents. I'm here tonight to present a proposal that we'd like to share with you to add a community paramedicine program in our community. Our goal is to enhance EMS capability and reduce stress on our emergency services. So I've got a presentation up there, and can I go? So, there we go. So why a community paramedicine program? We have an increasing demand for EMS service in our community, and that creates challenges within our system capacity and our ambulance service. We've identified the need for an innovative solution to address frequent service users and non-emergency calls. So a little bit about the program. What is the Community Paramedicine Program? And it's a program designed to provide direct care from a trained paramedic to our frequent EMS users, our patients needing non-emergency assistance, such as lifting assistance, support with medication compliance, managing minor health issues, and reducing reliance on ambulances for non-critical needs. Some of the goals and benefits from our program would be to improve emergency service availability, which would keep ambulances available for true emergencies. We would enhance patient outcomes and provide proactive care to our frequent users. Increase the system efficiency, so we would reduce the strain on our EMS crews and the healthcare system overall. And then support community well-being. We would address health issues at the source and prevent escalation. So a little bit about the problem that we're facing right now. We have frequent users in our community of the EMS system, and they're a small percentage of the population that generate a disproportionate number of calls for service. So that puts strain on our ambulance crews, and our EMS unit response times are impacted by that. We have increasing call volume, and our community is growing, and we have an aging population, which all contribute to the challenge that we're dealing with. So I haven't skipped. There we go. So just some of the statistics over the last couple of years, we are showing an increase. Our numbers are trending. These are our EMS calls within our community and our response district there. So we're up a couple hundred runs from 23 to 24, and I anticipate that they'll continue to trend that way. And then some of our statistics here for the types of calls. So these are, in 23 and 24, we looked at falls, sick people, and just general illness. So we would classify these as not the critical risk and the heart attacks or strokes or things like that. And those accounted for 35% in 2023 and 39% in 2024. So that was it's a big portion of our calls that we go on. And then our nursing facilities account for 21% in 2023 and 18% in 2024. So about a fifth of our runs are going to these nursing home facilities. We also looked at our non-transports. So a lot of the times when we go and we don't end up transporting to the hospital. In 23, we had 34%. In 24, it was a 31%. So a third of our runs end up being non-transports. Another statistic we looked at was our common patients. So that is, these are by patient names. One-time response to that person was 66% of the time, and then 14% we went to a person twice, and 19% we went to 3 or more. So those are some of our frequent users in our community that we're going to on a consistent basis. We also looked at the demographic in our community, and we do have an aging population. So nearly 2/3 is over 50 years of age in 23, and it's 68% in 24. So that's another contributing factor to this. So what the program would look like, it would be what we're asking for is a single unit response. It would be a dedicated paramedic that responds to non-emergency calls, not in an ambulance. It would be in a chase car, essentially. It would be tailored assistance to our customers. They would do medication reviews, health issue follow-ups, minor care, and also education to try to prevent some of these calls. We would also give support to our frequent users who would focus on individuals needing consistent non-emergency interventions. And we would also collect data, so measuring our success with this, we would collect data through this program. Improved ambulance availability, ambulances would remain available for those critical calls that we're looking at. It would help us maintain our standard of cover, which is how we respond in our district and to the critical emergencies and all types of calls. Enhanced patient satisfaction, we would have quicker response times for the appropriate care. And then the cost saving would be lower operational costs from reducing some of the unnecessary transports. So the bigger picture is this would be an improved public health for our whole community. It would increase our access to preventative care for the community, stronger community ties. We would build trust through proactive outreach in our community. And the system-wide benefits are we'd have healthier residents and a more resilient emergency response system. So some of the steps that we're looking at to launch this program would obviously be the resource allocation. So budget, personnel, and equipment costs would be the upfront cost. Training and education, which we already have paramedics in our system that would be able to fill this role. We would give some public awareness to the community about the program. And then we would in partnerships, we would collaborate with the health services and other community programs. And then, gosh, I think that's so small. And then we just are looking for a pilot program to do this for 3 years before we would to pull the trigger to go for the full implementation of the program. So the financial considerations are the initial investment is the staffing, equipment, and operational setup. And the long-term savings would be reduced hospital transports, EMS strain, and improved response times within our community. So what we're asking for you guys to consider is moving forward is the community paramedicine program is an essential step in addressing current EMS challenges. It will provide a cost-effective, compassionate solution to serve the community better. And our action that we're requesting is to approve the funding and resources to the pilot program for 3 years. And we're happy to answer any questions that you guys may have about this.
Mr. Hart?
2 things. First, I commend LSFD for taking it, finding this issue and taking it be solution oriented. Seems like a pretty good approach. But 2, is there any precedent for this? Are there any other communities that are doing things like this? Who have we looked at to see how we operate this? Because it seems like a good idea.
There in Southwest Ohio, I believe Colerain and Miami Township just recently launched their program. So we haven't seen the data from what it is, but it is a across the nation, there are places that are doing this and trying to get into those frequent users and we are the gatekeeper for the healthcare system. We are the first line of defense. So trying to be proactive with that and get ahead of the game is what our goal is with that.
Seems like our data alludes to this being a need.
That's correct. Yes.
Based on what our call point is.
Yes. And we would obviously, if we were moving forward with this program, we would look at the data very closely and have a lot of data points that we're watching to see how we could make it better.
Any other questions? Mr. Peng?
Just curious, you made a comment there that I just wanted to back up to about nursing care. The nursing facilities within our city, they can call for emergency services. Is that something then that they reimburse the department for, or is that just a cost each time they call? I mean, I would expect them to have staff to take care of that, I guess, is what surprised me about it.
Right.
Well, yes, to answer your question, they do pay. Everybody who rides in the ambulance pays. So nursing homes, we have two, the 501 North 2nd Street and the Lodge of Montgomery on Union Cemetery Road. Both are in the city limits. Both are heavy users of our system. Generally, we'll go to the Lodge 5 times a day. The problem is, it's a little city within itself. So the 2 or 3 nurses that are there can obviously not handle that. What's happening is EMS and fire departments are becoming the gatekeeper of a failed American healthcare system. And what happens is it pushes it back down on the taxpayers and local communities. So we could be here being reactive and saying we just need to put on another ambulance crew, and that's going to cost about $500,000 a year. Or we can try to see how we can kind of get in between the emergency rooms and our residents by providing them the opportunity to get help elsewhere, linking them up with social service programs, linking them up with county programs that can help them to stay in their home, help them get the assistance that they need to where they don't have to call the ambulance. What we're seeing anymore is that we'll get several calls, I'd hate to say it, 2 or 3 calls at least a day of people who just need to be lifted up. And believe it or not, we make a lot of calls to people's home to help them get out of bed, get back into bed, get on the commode, get off the commode, get in the shower, get out of the shower. And you and our taxpayers would probably say, that's really not what we've got 911 for. But who else are they going to call? And so it's either that or they slip getting out of bed, slip getting out of the shower, and they wind up being a 911 transport anyway. So with this program, we're hoping that we can do like other communities like Miami Township, Colerain Township, and there are several other here in Southwest Ohio that are also implementing community paramedicine programs. A lot of them are trying to a lot of this started back when things changed with Obamacare. And the hospitals were then told if the patient comes back to the emergency room within 24 hours, we're not going to pay you. So what the hospitals tried to do is figure out how do we keep these patients from having recidivism and coming back to our emergency rooms. So that's kind of where that discussion began about 5 or 6 years ago. The hospitals really didn't do much with that. But what we're seeing is that's being pushed over onto the EMS system, and it's really overwhelming the EMS system to be able to have an effective response force. And you say, well, how does that help? We have 4 ambulances that we run, 1 out of each fire station. But what happens is we have cross-staffed fire stations. So the same men and women who are operating that ambulance are also operating that fire truck. So if you take all 4 of your ambulances out of service to go to the hospital and they're sitting over on Montgomery Road on a regular basis, that means you've taken 1/2 of your effective response force to be able to fight a fire out of the community at any one time. And during our peak time, we are out of the community quite often at the hospital. And then the backup at the hospital, which is what we call the sitting on the wall, which is our paramedics are there waiting on the staff at the emergency room than to take that patient and do something with that patient. So that amount of time is there. So we're not able to turn the ambulances around as fast because of that. So we have to look at innovative ways to be able to go directly to the patient and see how we can keep the patient, not that we won't respond, but keep the patient out of the back of the ambulance.
Thank you for that information, Chief. Yeah, and this reminds me of, I forget where I heard about it or where I saw it, but a similar program with the police departments looking at, social needs and that kind of thing, of trying to remove officers from those kinds of calls. And so it kind of fits in that same vein. Another question that I had was with response to, I guess, just the responders. Who is the arbiter for who goes? I mean, who decides whether it's an ambulance call or it's this special person that is on staff? Is that something that the 911 center decides, or does the person calling decide?
Well, it starts out in the 911 center like any other call. We would the 911 operator can classify it as a general response. As an example, we'll get people who say my smoke detector is going off. Well, is it going off, or is it just chirping because your battery's dead? Well, it's chirping because the battery's dead. Then they will dispatch just a single person in a car, one of our community risk reduction people, to go handle that versus dispatching 2 engines and a ladder to go handle that. So they will be the gatekeeper of that in the 911 center. And then the battalion chief that's on duty, who's in charge of the entire district, will be able to, based upon the CAD entry, determine whether or not an ambulance needs to go or not.
Okay. And what is the, you mentioned, well, I guess in the statistics you gave, it sounded like you guys are doing 10 calls a day is what my quick math, roughly, that you guys are doing on this. In terms of the split, since we have the shared use with SIMS, you mentioned there's going to be one person. So where would this one person be out of, and how would they respond to the different communities and so forth, and how would that all be split out?
Well, as you know, we operate the fire department as just one community. We don't operate as just 2 separate communities. So the on-duty paramedic that would be handling that will be working during what we call our peak time of operations. So they'll be working during that time. And not only will they be responding to calls, they will be reviewing yesterday's calls to determine who needs social services, who needs a visit. So they'll be visiting somebody that we might have taken to the hospital yesterday or a day or 2 before to find out, why did you fall? Are you able to be at home alone? Those kind of things, and get them connected with that service so that we can hopefully keep them from being another statistic a week later. Did I answer that call? Did I answer your?
Yeah, I guess is it going to be different people out of different stations, or is it always out of the same station? And is that here in Loveland, or is that in SIMS, or?
No, it's here in Loveland. It's one paramedic.
And I think right now the way costs are split is by calls in the different communities, right?
Well, this is a 50-50. SIMS is already approved.
Okay.
At their last trustees meeting, they approved the program at their last trustees meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
And if I can, I think the statistics are we have certainly our fair share within that 50-50, right? Because of
your EMS calls are much higher than they
that's
are in
what
Sims
I thought.
Township.
Right. So
You have the 2 nursing facilities. Well,
right.
You have actually 3 nursing facilities when you count 101 South 3rd Street.
Okay. Yes.
You have a much more aging population than they do in Sims Township.
Right.
Sims Township fires are much higher than yours because they have a much heavier commercial and retail base than we do in the town or in the city.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I'm just curious, in terms of paramedics versus EMTs, will they both be participants in this community program, or is it mainly for paramedics?
No, it's a paramedic. We're actually going to be, providing the council approves this, we're going to be moving Captain Hall into that position because of his depth and knowledge in paramedicine. He's pretty much in charge of our paramedicine program and training in CPR under direction of Chief Brooks. And so we want somebody that can hit the ground running. and really take off with the program. He's been dealing with our PD Med program and our Senior Med program, which is another two pieces of this that we want to be able to get the community back involved in so that we have that data. Our Senior Med and our PD Med program, we started 20 years ago, where people will actually give us their medical information in advance, and we'll keep that in the 911 center in the computer, so that when we're responding to your home, we know by the address and by the CAD that you're either PD Med patient number 5 or Senior Med patient number 27, and so that we already have your medical information before we ever get to your home. And the other thing we're going to be able to do with this is this fits into what we're able to spend the opioid settlement money on from the state opioid settlement. So that's one of the programs that we're able to spend that money on. It's very hard right now to be able to spend that money, how the legislation was written, as well as how the lawsuit went with that with the state. So it's very, we can spend it on paramedic health, the wellness, well-being of our paramedics who had to respond to the opioid crisis, and then we can spend it as well as opioid awareness and public awareness for emergency medicine.
And Chief, that's my understanding. You need our approval because it's a new program within the fire department, but you're not asking for money from council. You have money from the department through the opioid settlement, the levy, right?
Yeah, well, no, that is your money.
Understood,
but it would have to be paid for out of the fire and EMS funds,
right?
And so it'd be split with Sims Township. So it's roughly $40,000 per community a year for the program.
Right.
And the actual legislation, if the council wishes to move forward with this, the legislation would be on your agenda at the next meeting.
Okay, Mr. Bateman.
Thank you for this presentation and this initiative. I think you both have demonstrated, the case for doing so. I just had a question about sort of graduating from a pilot to a fully fledged program, and whether or not does that mean that it's going to be, larger or more robust in terms of its offerings, or would it be more permanent as opposed to just a 3-year trial phase?
Well, more permanent, providing the data supports that. As an accredited agency, we run everything based upon data. So we intend to bring that data back to the council and to the township trustees after that 36-month period and let you evaluate whether it's a program that is doing what we anticipated to do. Should we scrap the program? Should we do something different with the program? Or maybe that the run volume is just such that we should change that program into a full-fledged ambulance on duty, and another ambulance on duty, which we hope, that's a very expensive venture. We hope that's not where this is going.
That's kind of what I was thinking. You mentioned that it would be operating sort of in a window of time as opposed to like a 24/7 service that would be available. So that's kind of what you're saying. The 3-year would function under these parameters, and then at the end of that, we would evaluate to see if any adjustments needed to be made.
Yeah, and the other two things I might want to remind you: the one thing, the Medicare changes that council signed on to a few months ago, where in our billing system, we're expecting the city to get another $50,000 or $60,000 a year out of that change that's happened with Medicare. The other thing to note is that over the last 3 years, your EMS revenue that you bill for EMS runs has almost doubled. So we were at around 350. Now we're at 6 something, and that continues to escalate as well. And that just goes to show the volume of the runs for the transports.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the
Thank you.
presentation. All right. Open forum. Greg Gentili. Did I say it right? So how do you say?
Gentile.
Gentile.
My dad worked for New in the 60s. The French bring in with bullets out of Italy. And So he changed the relation to Gentile.
It really should be Gentilly.
Yeah, one of them. I'm a black. Mayor Rally, council, is like that. My name's Craig Dixie. I've been on with government authority development services. So I started funding the things that started with. Part of my role in outside services is the company of service of the local governments and entities throughout the county. Here it seems that every direction we make, it will solve some issue. Just a lot of township no issue. That's the map for Union Township. Back up to for another thing here in my artist open data site, you want to log forward. You have an open data button there. It will take you to finance. You can find information on all the commercial tax rates, Excel spreadsheets, etc. So this would
Any questions for Mr. Gentile? All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here. All right, Kathy Lorenz. Where is she?
Things that are wrong, things that need to be fixed, and I just want to come and say something nice. First, I wanted to do an apology to Mayor for harassing her during the spelling bee.
My guess is I harassed you back, so I think it's okay.
I first ended the spelling bee myself, and then as I got into it, I got really wanted part of it. I just wanted to say that.
Well, and you did win, by the way. Our 2025 Adult Spelling Bee 4th of July champion. What was the word? Tell everyone what the word was that you won on.
Wow.
On my team was Anna Hughes. She is the intern of the Loveland Historical Society right now. And so she and I are out here to be able to have as much fun as we did. Now it's been successful. But I wanted to thank the mayor, Mr. Hart, for being a good judge. I think he's a good judge.
I appreciate that. My best.
I want to thank Mr. Goodyear and the Heads and Tails competition. I know that Mr. Ori drove a truck in the parade. I didn't see other council members, but I knew you were behind supporting this 4th of July. Especially wanted to thank Mr. Kennedy and his team. I know that a lot of work fell for them to get this 4th of July going. And it was just a bunch of that. It was so many things going on, so many things to do, so many happy people. Valentine Reads appreciate the support for the parade, the newly formed Kiwanis Club appreciate the ability to participate in the Buddy Castle. I saw so many happy kids running around the Buddy Castle's honors and trying to win prizes. I just think it was a great occasion, and I really appreciate that. I moved here over 40 years ago, and I hope I can say that's a small town. And after 40-some years here, I think I would say that Loveland is still a small town that has a really good heart. And I'm really happy to be a part of this community. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate you taking the time to be here. Say good things. As long as you're here, now's the right time. Misty was going to have me thank people at the end, but you can sit down. But I thank the planning committee. I mean, Misty is the certainly the leader and quarterback of all of this, and makes this happen. I know it is a lot of work. Has a whole committee that helps. I know Adam Jaranek is on that. Anybody else here on that committee? Do you want to name who's on that committee?
Oh God. Nancy Duff, Sherry Sparalakis, Patty Pedicini, Brian Maxon, Christina Jernick, Aaron Harper, Vicky Lancome, Julie Robinson, Becky Knoll, and I really hope I'm not forgetting anybody else. Ian Rower. Great group of people, and every year they try to outdo themselves and come up with new ideas and fun things for the city.
Well, I think they did. I think you did a fantastic job. And also, I really appreciate all the city staff that was down here participating and helping out. That was amazing, giving up their holiday to be involved. Also, all of our businesses and sponsors that help make this event work. We need sponsors, and we need the businesses and their money to make it work. It's not cheap. And also all the volunteers. There were a lot of volunteers that were on the parade route and also helping out for everything that happened down here. So wonderful event as usual. Thanks to everybody that had any part to do with it, and thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you coming and thanking the correct people for everything they did. It's nice to hear that. So thank you. Okay. It's now 20 till 8. Should we do some business? Maybe, possibly. All right. So minutes of the June 4th, 24th, 2025 meeting. Is there any changes, additions to those minutes?
Move to approve as written.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. Next is a public hearing on a grant of easement for Bishop Park. Can we please have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll move to open the public hearing on the easement to the Bishop's Park. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Goodyear,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
There's no one that has signed up. Can we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. All right. Next, we need a public hearing regarding the 2026 tax budget motion.
I'll motion.
Go ahead, Mr.
No, no, you
No,
brought.
no, no.
I moved to open a public hearing to discuss the on the tax budget. Do what I mean?
Next time you can do it.
Yeah,
Mr.
sorry,
Goodyear.
Brian.
Is there a second?
2025.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps, Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear,
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. We didn't have anyone sign up. Can we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Mr. Kennedy.
So, for council is two resolutions authorizing the execution of memorandum of understandings with both Loveland City Schools and St. Columban for school resource officers for a 3-year term, commencing with the upcoming school year. So, after a brief hiatus, the City Council reinitiated the SRO program in 2018 when Jesse Moore began at the Loveland High School. City Council then added SRO at the elementary school, the middle school campus, and St. Columban, leaving only LECC campus without an SRO. Mayor Bailey was a strong proponent of all those additions, but asked that staff would work with the school district to look at the feasibility of adding an SRO at LECC. So we did that, and we worked with the school district, and they were extremely receptive for this program. Actually, Mr. Broadwater, during the school board's review of this process, actually described it as somewhat unparalleled. This community of our size was able to work together to get SROs at all 4 campuses. This is a somewhat unique position. So I really commend Chief Gabrielson to coming up with a way to make this work by co-mingling a community relations officer with the position. and he can answer some questions on that, and made this really even more of a doable position given the youngness of the kids at the LECC. But with that, the city from 2018 till the start of the 2025 school year will have a SRO at all 4 campuses, and that is obviously student staff protection. That is really something to be proud of. We decided that we would take this opportunity to sort of clean up the MOUs a little bit. If you look at those years, we had them ending in different periods of time. This is a little bit of work both for the school district to constantly monitor when one is canceled. So we took this opportunity to combine all the school campuses into one MRO. That's, if you can see how that was worded. And then, of course, St. Columban, they needed an updated one anyways. They have a new Archbishop. And so this will easily, for Misty to monitor every 3 years, we'll know when this needs to be cleaned up. We also decided to take this as an opportunity to clean up the financial side of it. We would typically have an exhibit based upon insert name of, let's just say Larry Mann. Larry Mann's going to cost you this much. Well, a lot happens over the course of 3 years. Larry, I'm using Larry as an example, but insert name of SRO, the collective bargaining agreement changes, the payroll changes, they get married, they've now added a family plan. We didn't really adjust that along the way. We just sort of said, well, we had a deal, and the deal was this. So all the schools know what we're doing, and we thought this would give us, so the Exhibit A is actually based upon worst case scenarios for all, highest salary for the CBA, and of course the full family plan and so on and so forth. We're still billing the schools exactly what that particular SRO cost us per quarter, but this allows us to adjust it as needed as various elections change. So as I mentioned, school district has approved it. St. Columban will. Talking to Patrick, they're just waiting on us, and this will tee it all up. I'm going to go ahead and say that the officer that will be taking over at LECC is sort of the root of all this, really, with what Jesse did in 2018. Because I really think what Jesse did in 2018 when the program was just getting started, if everybody remembers that famous picture of him holding the lunchbox when he went into high school on day 1, Jesse will be serving that. And so at this point, if you had any questions regarding how Chief Gabrielson has structured that position, he's available. Otherwise, I have no other additional information.
Any questions or comments?
So the memo talks about the added duty of a CRO for LECC, correct?
Correct.
What would be the split of time for that person in terms of doing just SRO versus CRO? Is it 50-50, 75-25? What?
There's really no way to nail it down right now. Obviously, and at lengthy conversations that I had with Mr. Broadwater, traditional SRO duties were never designed to be in schools with children this age. However, in today's day and age, obviously, we understand that there is a need for law enforcement to be there. But the actual school resource officer position, there's only so much, let's be honest, the littles, as we call them, love the police. There's only so many high fives that we can give, traveling throughout. So education opportunities are a lot less. They're still there, but it's a lot less. So the actual SRO duties were not going to fill the full day for an officer. So there was going to be quite a bit of downtime. But we wanted to maintain, a person there 100% of the time during their shift. So we, as we're involved in a lot of community outreach. There's a lot of things that the community contacts us for, and we have a variety of points of contact throughout the police department. Some lieutenants do it, some officers do it, I do some. So what we're going to do is kind of centralize a lot of that stuff. So if somebody wants to do a ride along, they can contact Officer Moore to schedule that instead of it going out to one of our lieutenants currently. That will allow that lieutenant to focus more on what his responsibilities are and shift this to Officer Moore. So to start with, obviously the focus is going to be on exactly what you're saying. What is the time management going to be, the responsibilities for the school resource officer, and then how much can we add through the community relations? We have some ideas of some of the things that we're going to do, but realistically, that's one of the reasons why Jesse jumped at this is this is a new position. It's never been one dedicated person that handle a lot of the community relations. And then during the summer, when we're not in schools, we have a lot of programs that we can either enhance, we can be involved in, and those things will all be run through one point of contact. So I can't give you an exact answer, but our primary responsibility is SRO. He's going to be there for the safety and security of the students during transition times throughout the day. But when he's not interacting with the kids, he will have the ability to do other functions that are a benefit to the city.
Thank you for helping me understand that. Makes sense.
Any other questions or comments? I do appreciate you coming up with something creative, Chief, because that was my worry. They are our youngest children. That if there is something bad happens, they're going to be the most vulnerable of any of our schools, and we don't have an officer there. And to say, well, there's one a mile down the road, that's going to be way too late. So that was why I kind of pushed to have this, but it doesn't work unless you come up with something creative to make it work. So appreciate that. Thank you.
And I do just want to, give Mr. Broadwater is completely open to this. I mean, they made office space for, Officer Moore to be there. I mean, so they have been nothing but supportive in this, and they understand. So it's going to be a success. I mean, Jesse's going to, everybody here knows Jesse. He's going to make it a success. There's no question.
Yeah, great choice for that. Okay, any other questions? All right, we'll go ahead and read the first resolution.
Resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a memorandum of understanding to provide law enforcement officers to serve as school resource officers at the Loveland City School District campuses.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Abstain. Wasn't my important.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Resolution 61 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
You read the next resolution.
Resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a memorandum of understanding to provide a law enforcement officer to serve as a school resource officer for St. Columban School.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Resolution 62 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Medler.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Each year, the city, as well as other government entities throughout Ohio, is required to prepare a tax budget for the following calendar year and hold a public hearing, which we did earlier today. The budget must then be submitted to Hamilton County Auditor prior to July 20th in order to receive the city's share of local government fund reimbursement disbursements. The format of this tax budget before you is standard and reflects 2 years of actual financial data, an estimate for the current year 25, and a general projection for 26. The tax budget does not contain the amount of detail that goes into the operating budget and the capital improvement plan, and only includes information for funds that receive property taxes, so that is the general fund and our fire levy funds. To secure the city's share of local government funding, it is recommended by staff that the City Council adopt the 2026 tax budget as presented. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Medler? All right, read the resolution, please.
Resolution adopting the 2026 tax budget.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Resolution 63 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
All right, now we have an ordinance. We talked about this last.
Yep.
So does anybody have any further questions regarding this easement? This is a first reading only. Is there any further questions regarding what we talked about at the last meeting? All right, want to go ahead and read the ordinance?
Ordinance authorizing the city manager to grant an easement to Patriot Engineering and Environmental, Inc.
Thank you. All right, as far as announcements, one, I do want to just give a shout out to our Public Works Department. I think everybody would agree our downtown looked amazing for 4th of July. And really, they worked very hard on this long railroad between the bike trail and Railroad Avenue, and also down by Sweetheart Lane. Really nice job on both of those. And Nisbet Park looks pretty good. I think they've done the best they can with some of the things that we're still hindered by until we get everything in place. But shout out to them for what they've done down here. Mark your calendars. The next concert in the park is this Saturday, July 12th at 6 p.m. at Nisbet Park Amphitheater. We're excited to welcome back Blacktop Rodeo. They're from Lexington, Kentucky, and they will be bringing us country music. So bring your lawn chairs and come enjoy it. I have to miss that one, unfortunately. Anybody have any other announcements? Oh, yes, Mr. Ping.
Not an announcement, but just a comment to piggyback off of what you said. I was pleasantly surprised the morning after the 4th of July. We had fireworks going on at 10 o'clock at night, and the morning after I was on the bike trail at, 8 o'clock or whatever it was. Everything was cleaned up. You would have never known anything had happened other than there were a few barricades sitting around. And so, again, not only did they spruce it up at the beginning, but it was ready to go the next morning for the weekend. So, again, kudos to them for the job well done.
Yes, very good. Anyone else? Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Goodyear.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Mr. Ori.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps.
Yes.
Mr. Ping.
Yes.
Mayor Bailey.
Yes.
Carries 7-0.